So hello everyone, today we are going to start with session number 24 of assembly. We are continuing with the assembly series only. We have not seen yet the path mate, cam mate. So we are going to see today both the mates, that is path mate and cam mate. We are also going to see the rigid mate. In between we are going to see how to replace the part, how to copy and replace the part, as well as how to change the name of the parts and how to change the assembly names also. We cannot change them directly, so we'll see how to change them by using data management and design center. So to start with, first I'm going to call the path made parts. While say insert components here, I've already saved the parts here, so I'm going to call the base plate first. So I've made this base plate by extrude boss and extrude cut. We have one path also here. So to show the path, I'm going to say right click on the plate and we are going to say show height component, and here in this we are going to say show the sketches, say apply and OK. So now you can see this path is being shown. We can see here in this slot cut one line is being shown, this curve line. This is nothing but the part we require here to show this path made. So we'll continue with the another part now, say insert components, and we are going to call the path finder. This is the part which is going to run on this path. So we are having both the parts now. We just need to go for the mate. I'll select the path mate here. We need to go for this point option. It will ask you to click on the point of a linear edge to define the follower. If you have made the part pointed only, then you will directly get the point. If you have not made the part pointed, if you don't have any vertex point, then you need to make a point by sketch and then you can utilize it for path mate. So I've made this part pointed only. That's why I'm having vertex point here. I'm going to select that vertex point. Second selection we need here is this path. So we have made path also. I'm going to select this path here. Now we just need to say accept after selecting both the parts. Say right click and finish. You can see this part is looking a little bit inclined or tilted here. So to resolve that, I'm going to say assembly, top face and this face. So now both the faces are parallel to each other. Say right click and finish. Next we are going to click on the part only, and here we have the option that is drag component. We'll say it to freely move. We have this option that is free move. So I'll select the part and directly drag the part here. You can see this part is following the path which has been made in the plate. So this was path made. Now the next assembly relationship which we are going to see today is cam made. So to start with cam made, I've already made the parts. We just need to browse the parts for assembly. So I'll say insert components here again. And I'm having this folder here. So I'm going to call the base plate first. So here is the base plate for the cam. We are going to mount all the parts in this plate only. Moving forward, we are going to call the next part here. That will be this moving shaft. So I'm going to place this shaft in this flanges here by saying axial align. If I want to move this part, just right click, say escape and then right click, say drag component, and you can see this part can be dragged now. Say move on this option of drag and we can see this part can be dragged. Next, as it is moving rotationally also, so I want to lock this movement. For that I'm going to say assembly again. Select this top face and the face of the plate. After placing this shaft here, next we are going to go for the pin, crank pin. So I'm going to say insert component again. So I'm having this pin here. We just need to insert this pin here. Say axial align as well as coincide. Next we also need to lock the rotation. So I'm going to click on the part. The related mate will be highlighted. We just going to lock the rotation here. Now this cam pin is completely constrained. We have not made this part constrained as we are going to move this part along the cam. That's why this part is under constraint. You can see here this blue mark around this box is coming, showing that part is under constraint. Next we are going to call the last part, the main part, that is cam. Here is the cam body. You just need to go and say assembly, say axial align here, and we are going to say center plane mate also here, selecting the type as double, select both the faces of the cam as well as both the faces of the shaft here, these flat faces. So this cam will be center aligned with the shaft. Now next we are going to go for the mate, that is cam mate. So to apply cam mate, I'm going to go on this option, that is cam. We need to select the face or a point to define the follower. So I'm going to select this face here as a follower. This circular face of the shaft will follow this cam path. That's why it is known as follower. Next we need to select the cam path. So I'm going to select this face here. Say accept after selecting both the faces together. Now you can see that shaft is being attached to this cam here. Now we can rotate this cam, just say escape, click on the cam, click on this option, that is drag component. In drag component I'm going to say rotate. So here you can see this cam mate has been applied here. Next we are going to add the motor here. For that I'm going to select this rotational motor. We'll add this speed limit here. So we need to select the part first and then select the edge of reference for rotation. Select the limit. So I'll say here 900 degrees, 120 degrees per second. Flip the direction. If you want to flip the direction, you can see this blue arrow direction can be flipped here. Next say finish and cancel. Now if you want to see the motion of the motor, you just need to go on this option, that is simulate motor. Select rotational 2, say OK, and here if I say play, and you can see here this cam is been moving here using simulate motor and applying the motor. To finish the animation, say delete animation or save animation. If you want to save this animation, you can also save the animation here. I'll say save as a movie here, and I'll say I want to save it on the desktop having the folder Artwork Saga here. So in this folder I'll say this motion, cam motion name, say save. So it may take a little bit time here for generating the motion. Then it will be saved as a movie or a clip. You can forward or send it this clip to the customer side, or else you want to represent it to someone, you can directly send this clip there. Now this complete movie is saved in the folder there. I close the animation. So this was cam made for you. So in this cam made only we are going to see how to replace part or how to replace a copy with a part. So I'm going to say replace part with copy here, this option. We can see here replace part with copy. It is very useful command. I'll select this option here. Select the part you want to replace with a copy, new copy, select the part and say accept. Now I'll change the name here and I'll add the name here as 2 and save it here. Now you can see this pin name is showing as 2. If I want to edit this pin now, I'll say edit. But as you say edit, it will ask you to save the assembly first. So I'll save this assembly first here. Next we are going to replace this pin with the other pin. Before that I'm going to edit it a little bit. So for editing I've said edit part. Here I'll add the round. I'll say 8 mm radius. Say preview and finish. Say cancel. And now I'll say close and return to assembly. So after closing and returning to assembly, you can see here this is cam pin 2. Now if I want to replace this with the earlier pin, I'll say this option, the first option, that is replace part. Earlier we have seen replace part with copy and made one copy. Now we are seeing replace part. Select the part to be replaced, say accept, and go for the first option, that is this campaign one. Say open. So you can see the change here. So this was replace component with copy. Next, if you want to change any name of the part, you can directly change the name here. But we can't go on the file directly and say rename there. There is one procedure for changing the name of the assembly. For that, I'm going to go on this data management option. And in data management, I'm going to say design manager. Say yes. And here you will have the option that is design manager. So now I want to change the name as camshaft instead of moving shaft. I'll select the part, go and say this option that is rename document, and here I'll double click on this part and directly say camshaft. Now after changing the name, file name, you just need to say and click compulsory on this option that is perform actions. Then only this part will get the updated name there. So here the name is updated. Instead of now moving shaft, it is having the name that is camshaft. After completing the process, you can go and say return to solid edge. And in model tree also, this name is being changed. It is showing here camshaft instead of moving shaft. So in this way, you can change the name. You are not allowed to directly change the name by going on the file and then right clicking on the rename option. If you go for that option for changing the rename option, then all the parts will be replaced by another parts. So better you go for this data management option only and then design center for changing the name. Direct renaming is not allowed in Solid Edge by going on the file and renaming it. Next we are going to call the copy of this part here, that is this cam body. So I'll select this cam body option and drag it here. I want one more copy of this cam pin. I'm going to select and drag it here. So now these are two separate parts which are not having any relation or mate with the main assembly. We are going to see the next mate or next relationship, that is rigid set. So in rigid set, if I drag this part individually, you can see these parts can be dragged individually only, they are not connected with each other. But if I go for this rigid set option and apply this rigid set on both the parts by selecting them together and saying accept, say close. Now rigid set has been applied on this part. If I click on this part, you can see the relation is showing that rigid set relationship has been applied. So if I drag this part now, say free move, this part will not move individually, it will move with the shaft. So this rigid set is nothing but fixing two parts together and then allowing them to move together only. So if any mate is applied or any movement is applied on the cam, that will move this part also. And delete both the parts now. And again, if I want to go for configurations, then first I'll add these two parts here, that is cam pin and cam base. Next I'll click on this arrow, current configuration, and I'll add new configuration having any name here. Then you just need to click on this option, that is the second option. First we are going to say new, adding the name. Then we are going to go on this option display configurations, select the required new configuration, apply and update. You just need to click on this option, apply and update, say close. Next you going to say save display configuration. Now if I go on this default, it will show all the parts, and if I say this Sagar option, it will show only the two parts. So in this way you can add the configuration of the assembly. This is done because if you want to show only two parts in drafting, then you can use the configuration there also in drafting. So it is very useful command in larger assemblies also. So this was the lecture we are going to see here for the assembly. This was the last lecture. Now we will continue with the next module in other lectures. Till then, thank you.